are indeed live now, guys. It seems like it. Let's go straight into the game because game 1 has already started. So don't look at me. Let's go into the game. We'll add some in-game sound as well. Makes things a little more fun. And I think we are as ready as we can be. Welcome, guys, to today's tournament. Everything got a little rushed here in the end, but we did manage to make it all work, as you can all see. I am bringing you today the Contenders Promotionals, and in which we'll be joining forces with the 12 to 16 place contenders teams from Group A and B. We got the 4th and 5th place teams from the Middle East and Asia Open League, and we got the 5th and 6th place team EU East. We got the 6th and 7th place teams from EU West. It's a long list, but you can get all the info over at the PUBG Esports side. We already got Fenerbahce early on in shooting, and that's against Venconas. Interesting that they square up against each other here, actually. Everything considered, they didn't really have any issues landing when they were playing the in the contenders group stage. So it seems to me like they have a bit of an argument over who's supposed to be going where and whatnot. But nonetheless, issues seems to have been solved. One guy gone down, or maybe they'll reconsider just exactly where they'll be landing coming into the next game. Yordale playing with Riddle, it seems like. Able to get things going here. Riddle, they'll be looting up military, and they should have a well, I mean, a pretty easy going from here on out. Not a whole lot more to it. For those of you guys who don't know exactly how this whole sort of between open and contenders works, it works in the way that the top 10 teams, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct about this, top 10 teams from contenders that played phase 1 a few weeks back, they get to stay. We see Moon going down there as well. He's playing for NIP now. I was not aware of that, but he has been taken down. Boop, there you go. Moon, not a whole lot more you can do there. Ghost, they came flying straight over towards you. But yeah, if you guys are confused with some of these logos, then I can tell you right now that I know exactly what's going wrong. It's the some of the observers have PEL logos. Some of them have the correct logos. YMD isn't these playing for Ghost Legion, so do not be confused, guys. Don't confuse yourself. It's just look at the player names and don't look at the team names for the most part, because that could confuse more than help. Pretty much. But no, what I want to say, the top 8 from here, the top 8 from these games, they're playing 12 games in total. It's going to be 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. They're going to be playing all these games, and well, I mean, when all that's said and done, then the top 8 is going to be advancing into the stage 2, the second stage of the promotional, at which they'll be playing against the 11th place teams from contenders from Group A and B, and the 3rd to 5th place teams from EU West, 3rd to 4th from EU East, and then the 3rd place teams from MEA or Middle East and Africa, and that's going to be then top 6. Advancing all the way through from there. So a little more complicated. I know it's not easy. There's a lot of numbers to grasp, and I had to write it down for myself to understand it all as well. But it does make sense. You can go into PUBG, the StarLadder PUBG site. You can watch all the rule sets there. You can get everything understood. It should be pretty straightforward once you once you have all that down. But as we can see now, teams are making their way on in towards the middle. We got Last Crew up there in the center of things, up and around the Razok side, and then we got John Lee Woo down here far down south by Crory. Just seems like they're trying to figure out how they want to rotate, but there's a buggy there. Might as well jump on in. A bug in a bike pays off a little better than just having all these guys crammed into the one same bike, because well, we do know that it might be contenders and it might be open league, and you guys might be thinking, oh, but they're not as good as the pro league teams. Well, believe me, they sure as hell can hit people when they come driving to in a bike anyway, so do not have any fear. Don't have any fear. These guys are very, very talented players, and seems like that buggy was all they needed to be able to rotate all 4 of them out and moving further forward. I will just remove this real quick, as I was told to. That and this. There we go. As told by the production team to remove that. MK14, cheek pad, full level 3. I guess Tug is not complaining. Swamp, they had a bit of a tough going in the Contenders League. They were looting in Yasnaya, actually split looting Yasnaya with Wizards, and they never really fought each other, but they had a hard time figuring out exactly how they wanted to rotate and all these and all those things. So hopefully now, I mean, of course it's a new lobby, they haven't really got that much time to prep against this specific lobby, but hopefully they'll be coming in with a bit more confidence and getting things going. Whoops, that's not what you want to hit right there, PEL. Fortunately, does manage to get on moving forward. Last crew, aka Skills, and Faye, shooting down towards Apex, and Denethor as well from the vehicle. Jumps over to the passenger seat. Maybe. Were they two in the car? They were two in the car. Oh, and PEL just runs him over. Shaxi taken down. I was like, did he just jump over to the passenger seat to shoot him? But there were indeed there were two guys in the vehicle. But still, I mean, impressive. Shooting one out of the vehicle. It's not something you see done too often in competitive play. Worked out there nonetheless, though. Wizards, they're far up north. They got the circle up towards them as well. Sunk from Fenerbahce lost a teammate just before. Now he's taking fire as well. Fenerbahce, they did get themselves a kill earlier. But whether that's going to be enough or not, we'll have to wait and see. Merritt and John Lewu, they're jumping out to take some shots at Sunk once more. But, oh, headshot coming in and body shot. Just 4 HP for Sunk. Run, and then run some more because you're far from safe. Just yet one more hit anywhere on the body. Should be the killing blow. But seems like somehow Sunk is able to stay alive. And now he's doing donuts. I'm not sure exactly if this is what you want to do when you have 4 HP and not a whole lot to play around. But he does jump out of the vehicle, throws the smoke. Wants to see if he can get himself some meds off. Didn't want to commit over to the other side. Didn't know what he was running into. And well, I mean, with that HP, if you run into any other team at any point, honestly, you're pretty much dead. So fortunate for Sunk. He lives to see it. I just said he lives to see another day. But now he got a wheel pop in his vehicle. I'm not sure this is the kind of situation he wants to be in. Sure, he can still drive it with 3 wheels up. But as you can see, Knockout Gaming, sitting up here, call me God. Well, I mean, if you want us to call you God, you better land these shots. Woohoo! Just off the side of the head there. I mean, you cannot be a God if you don't land those shots, right? Knockout Gaming from the Middle East Africa region. I believe they were in 5th place. And PEL now running into John Leroux. That's gonna be 1 kill down for huge potential. I see wrong. Oh, that's a headshot. Merritt, he tried to make a drive on off with the buggy, but he had his head blown off, so not a whole more to it. That's the EU East team from Huge Potential. Yep, they were coming in, I believe, 6th place in the Open. So just trying to keep track of all this for you guys. Sirong from Huge Potential European East team that has just exactly made it into the promotionals here. Riddle, we noticed them just before. Now they're moving on forward once again. Bullen from Phoenix. Phoenix, they won themselves a game on... They had 2 wins. They had one on Erangel and one on Miramar in the Contenders, but still didn't manage to really get a whole lot more going than that. But hopefully for the finish, this time around, they'll get something going. And these guys right here, the former Sweaty Nerds, Andy, Memo, Ben Q, and then Tony Sosa playing on the team now. They're if you can't recognize the logo, I mean, you might probably recognize the players. Circle popping, and that is a dead split between north and south as far as the river goes. Not going to be easy, and they will of course have to figure out, well, where exactly do we commit on this one? Do we want to sit north? Do we want to sit south? Because not only does it pretty much open up the entire river, it also goes in an area where there isn't a whole lot to play from. So gonna be really tricky. Hickey, personal courage, trying to make the run up, but as you can see, Ghost there waiting, and not to be confused with the NA team Ghost Gaming. This is Ghost Legion, and Hickey not only gets knocked off, but he also gets blown up as that vehicle comes to an end. But well, I mean, for Ghost Legion, they're looting down south, and they have to make their way far up north now. Well, not that far, but seemingly they don't have any vehicles. They might just wanna get going because it's just 35 seconds until the circle starts closing. You can see on your minimap there actually that Andy is making the run on over. I like that. Memo might be doing the same thing. Nope, he's just parking the vehicle. But Andy actually went up north of the river to secure some land north. Should the circle go up there? It's a smart thing to do, especially when it's still, I mean, it's still phase 2, phase 3. If you go later than that, whoo-hoo, that could be tricky. But smart to have, if you have a chance to sit with people on both sides of the river. That's always the better spot for you to be in. We will see now. Taketori I don't know if I'm allowed to say that with like a wannabe Japanese voice, but I'll just say Takatori Hisho. That's a it sounds like a somewhat Asian name, but considering that this is the European league, he obviously cannot be. Oh, he could be, but won't expect him to be under fire though. Right now, at least, is Last Crew just aka Moke make that actually on his feet, trying to see if he can do anything through all of this. Moke, low HP, and he has all of Knockout Gaming on his side. Last player remaining. They lost on one on rotation just before. Now I believe it's only him alive, actually. I'm not quite sure, but I think he might just be the last remaining player from his team. Reload comes in, and down goes Moke. Last Crew will indeed be the last crew, at least here in the first game. The last place team to finish this one off. 52 alive only. That's a bit surprising as well. I mean, of course, it is the first game of the week, and now the push comes in here. Tony and Memo try to hold off Saxe, but that's not gonna happen. The Finnish player says, boys, you were going down and out. Bulin trying to come on up, get the rest, and should be possible to get done here as well. It's always interesting when you have these lobbies with teams that haven't really played each other before, because the first game or two, I mean, that's why we're doing 12 games, right? But the first game or two is always going to be chaotic. It's always going to be tricky, because you have no clue what you're running into. Sure, you can watch some of the open league VODs and stuff, but once you get into a new lobby, once all these teams go in against one another, it's just so unpredictable what's going to happen. I think that's one of the reasons that we already lost 14 players. I mean, Circle 2 closing in and losing 14 players already, that's not something you see in more, I guess you could say, established lobbies where teams have played against each other, or at least like played in the same sort of scene and environment for a longer time. So really interesting that we have so much action early. And also look at the spread here. Very few teams are down in the south. Circle, well, I mean, if it's not guaranteed already, then it will be for sure next Circle, because this looks to be going up north. So for the benefit of the majority, I guess you can say it will go swing up there. The only bad thing about it is that there isn't a whole lot to play from inside that circle. You do have some dips, you do have a few wizards and jacks, but there aren't really that many compounds. T-Toxic from Drago Unity trying to see if he can get himself some kills, but Riddle says nope, ain't gonna happen. Securing himself one, and that's actually a really smart drive on by this. Sent one guy past and get the kill off in the end. Mans. Ooh, they're in the blue. Sure, it's only taking 1 HP per tick, so it's not the worst scenario. But it's still just a little bit of a reminder to all these people having to go really far. This is honestly, this has been an absolute and utter chaos game so far. So many people dying in rotation. Personal Courage now using Houston as well. So much chaos happening really early on in this game. Personal Courage already lost Heiki. Now Denethor goes down as well. And that's all of Courage eliminated. Huh. That's a bit surprising. Also, Wizards, you might be surprised by them having a new logo. They used to have like a greenish Wizard logo, but now it's a black background with a white W, in case you guys should be confused by that. Faye, Menox, they're all driving straight into opponents again. Wizards, once again, they had a lot of damage done before on the rotation coming in, and it seems to me like Apex, they were not at all ready for this one. And, well, I mean, Havoc, not a whole lot more to it, goes down. Trike actually gets knocked as well, so Sinsen with the SLR doing the damage needed. Faye and Menox now have to figure how in the hell do we rotate in on this one, because just 2 guys alive on second rotation, that's not really the kind of scenario you wanna, or situation I guess you can say, that you wanna be in. Phoenix, they're sitting well in it, not that center but something close to it, or at least as center as they could hope to be. A little on the western edge, but should be alright. Should be alright for now. Manny getting assaulted now. It's gonna be push coming down from the top. Knockout Gaming. They got themselves 2. They got themselves 3 knocks. Manny though getting 1 in return. What can it do here? Animal Slayer. Ooh, gets hit once, but as you can see, Manny's so low HP. Forced to take out the SKS. Not gonna work. Call Me God comes in from the side, and these players, I'm telling you, they're doing really well, but not if I assume has something to say about it. Last player remaining gets himself 1. Not gonna finish off, but that's gonna be all he can do there. Has to make the run off. So unfortunate for them. Not a whole lot more to it. Manny gets the finish up onto Slayer of Animals as well. Grows up for level 3. Could be picked up. We'll see. We'll see. It's pretty center, but it's also rather open, so unlikely that anyone will be going down there. Zoom, trying to zoom all around the northern side. Should be possible. At least seems to be an option for him right now. There's some room to work with, but now Riddle, they're waiting for him. They're seeing him. They're shooting over towards him as well. But for now, he's able to stay put. He's pretty much rotated 180 degrees of this circle so far. Now he's going down into Apex on the other side. Zoom up there. Such a rough rotation. He cannot find any entry point whatsoever. Now he's forced Miles out and into the blue. One more shot should do it, and that's going to be Yordale securing the finish of an Airwaves. They go down and out in 12th place. 35 alive, and Circle 4 just popped. Guys, this is... You got to calm down a little. I know you all want to get into contenders, but you got to calm down, because this is chaos. There's so much shooting, so much fighting, very little rotating, and when you do rotate, people just tend to get completely wiped out. But then again, I mean, it is one of these situations where, first of all, we have 3 regions playing together as one. There's some different playstyles and stuff happening there, but also, majority of these teams haven't really played each other. We got like a big split between EU East, EU West, and MEA teams competing against each other, and then we have 5 teams from contenders that sure they played against each other, but mix in all these teams that you don't know a lot about, and it just makes things. I mean, it makes it so hard to figure, to try and kind of do your prep or sort of pre-game work on what you're supposed to do and how things are supposed to go down, because well, when it all comes down to it, this is a completely new lobby. And look at this BSD far down south. His teammates are out on the western side. I'm not sure if an batch will be able to get back together, but hopefully for them, something like that could happen. Kalimdor, sunk. They're prone down on the far southwestern side, and they're actually outside the circle. I'm not sure if Knockout, they know of their position, but could become an issue should they spot them out. BSD trying to make the drive around here. Should be able to do so. There are teams shooting at him now, though. Oh, and look at this. Mr. Unseen trying to land some shots down the hill. Not going to be easy. YMD making the run on up. It's Ghost and Kebabs running into each other. Now BSD goes down. Unseen immediately knocked as well. Nice positioning from Goldby up the hill. And they had one more player, APTYP_777. That's a nice name. I'm just going to call him Aptip, because that's the name now. Nice that he flanked so far up. Unfortunate that, as you can see now, that Phoenix didn't spot them before, because they are miles out in the open. And had they been looking down when they made the push on up, then that could have been a story gone completely different. Bullen, you can see him. He's trying to hit those shots with the Mini 14 down towards YMD. But, well, I mean, at least for now, seems like they're able to get away. Alia from the Swarm, they're still 4 alive. They had a pretty good rotation out from the south. Up from the south, I guess you should say. They're still 4 alive than the far eastern side of the circle, but they have a chance here. I like how Alia is using the dip, moving on forward. Some people, they tend to either run down on the side or like try to run up, but actually there's a bit of a dip where you can run all the way through there. Pretty smart position. Phoenix have a good chance to do something here now. Fenerbahce down to just 2 players. We saw them in the end of Contenders, the group stage. They actually really seem to got things going, but now EFSA under a lot of fire. Zonk has gone down low though, so they need to lay it low for a little while. Now Nates are coming in return. YMD gets himself a knock, and they're just, I mean, what they had of cover from one team, it's just going to be them being completely exposed to all the others. And you can see 3 teams, as soon as Kalimdor and Zonk started shooting, 3 teams started shooting down towards them as well. Andy now getting in on the action, gets himself a knock onto Transporter. And Alia running on up, got herself the crate. Call me God gets a nade connected, but we'll get a 1 in return. Ooh, down to low HP. Could have been. There's a help me God and there's a call me God. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Call me God though, continuing out to help me God. I guess that makes sense. So help me God, ask call me God for help, and indeed he delivered. That's good to know. MFS goes down. T-Bone gets knocked by Cop as well. That's going to be Vanconas finally getting in on the kill feed on the positive side here. Ooh, shots coming in from this side, and Colmigott needs to make the run on back. YMD again in a good position to take these shots, but he's not in a good position for the next circle. That's going to be his main issue. Help me. Makes the run on up, gets the finish up onto EFSA. There's still people to be dealt with though. You got Sheesh hiding in the smoke, tries to stay alive. Hoach gets knocked now as well. Alia with the good SLR double tap to the head. Kebabs in the end finished off. YMD did so much damage from the side there. Just not a whole lot you could do trying to square up against all the damage coming in from them. O'Connell We still have 3 players alive. Mise is alive as well. Oh no, actually, yeah, T-Bone did get rest. Okay, so T-Bone got back up. And Help Me God, Call Me God on the top, Help Me God on the side. You can see he has the M249. It's a lot of damage potential. But now with the push coming up from beside, he has to figure, how the hell do I play this? I'm all by myself, and there's not a whole lot more you can do from there, honestly. Goldby with the second kill of the game for him. Good job getting that doubly connected and taking out one more team. We're now in placement points. Ben Q goes down to the circle, unfortunate. Ooh, can you jump on in? You gotta jump, you gotta get in. O'Connell just exactly gets inside the circle, but they're not done running yet. They have to continue moving forward. And Andy prone down here on the little ridge line. He just has to hold it out, but not gonna happen once again. Ghost Legion securing themselves so many kills. Art of War taken out. For those of you guys who were confused, Art of War, the former Sweaty Nerds, have been taken out. Their Minox gets finished off as well. And now Swan making the run in from the side here. Clip. That's a nade thrown straight up towards Faye. Woohoo! Down to low HP. Second one comes in as well. Will it be on the money? Will it be enough? Nope, not gonna happen. Clip has to make the run back towards his teammates because, well, I mean, it's pretty open up there. You don't want to get spotted out. Drone is making the run on up towards the crate. Is there still anything available? Maybe a little bit of ammo that you didn't want from the grocer. So they have, look at this: SKS, SLR, and M14. That's a Mark 14. That's a pretty beastly DMR setup that Swarm has over on the eastern side, and they just got the circle gifted as well. And interesting enough, I mean, there's nobody sitting in the yellow and in the double whites in the compound in there in the middle. There's nobody sitting, and that's one of those things where it's a good position to have. I mean, it's a good position to be in if you have it, but it's so difficult to get down there if you don't have a position to really scout it, because you would assume that there's people there at this point. But it looks to me like Hannibro just went down there, so Riddle should be in a position to take control of that. But for those of you guys wondering how exactly things are going to unfold from here, that's the top 8 as far as I'm concerned. The top 8 that makes the move on forward. Goldby again active in the kill feed, got himself a double just before, and now sprays down arrows immediately as well. Nades are coming in both directions, but that is going to be him down, and Goldby secures himself his 5th kill already. Really good showing coming out from Ghost Legion right off the bat. I mean, crazy reaction time coming in. This is the second time he has a sort of a jump situation where the opponent has a jump on him in the sense that he's the one with the angle coming in, but just ready and waiting. Not a whole lot more to it than that. Really good job by Ghost Legion. They got themselves some good games in the end of things in the Contenders, as you can tell. You can tell they're coming back here with a lot of motivation, wanting to, of course, secure and maintain their spot in Contenders for Phase 2. Faye goes down. He was proned miles out in the open. He was secured from some spots, but in the end it would go down. So he picks out in 7th place. So everything considered, we had all the chaos early on. We lost so many players in the first 2.5 circles, and now things have slowed down a little bit. Clip gets spotted out. Tess gets himself the kill on off to him as well. So Riddle, they had the guy in the back. The one above could potentially be the reconnaissance for the team, but wasn't quite the case. APTYP, APTIP. Spraying uphill, not gonna happen. O'Connell connects it with the nade. Sprays him down as well, wants to secure the points, but he's getting shot at immediately in return to the level 1 gear here. Not gonna be able to tank a whole lot of bullets, but does manage to get into safety. T-Bone trying to put down some suppressive fire, and that is going to be Goldby. Taken down, not finished just yet, but you can see here, he's very far from his teammate, and he's miles out in the open, and that should be Bullen saying, thank you, buddy, I'll secure myself that one. Easily enough. YMD still down the hill. T-Bone took some shots from him before, so he knows of his position, but not in a position where he can really do a lot of damage in return. Impressive that Wizards have managed to stay put here with 4 guys alive. They've been under a lot of pressure, under a lot of fire earlier as well, but they're playing it really well as a team here, despite them not having a whole lot of cover, just moving from one tree to another. Oh, and actually they have lost one player. Once again, circle out east. Like the way that Swarm are splitting things up here. Really wise way that they're actually doing this right now. Sending 2 guys up top. It's all about finding those pressure points, figuring out the importance of it, like figuring out where can people potentially come and push from. And now they know exactly what to do. Saki goes down, Tuck with the MK14, secures himself that one. And they have been shooting and fighting against Phoenix for a little while now. So it's just them trying to hold off any potential push coming out of the compound. And also they should be able to contain them, because I think the compound might just be out of the next circle. So if they can if they can prevent Phoenix from being able to leave, that would be very, very beneficial. See, they're all down there. YMD gets finished off. Ooh, clip. Spotted out. Not clip, sorry. Hannibro. Spotted out in there in the house. Yordale trying to help out as well. You see Drone constantly swerving away, constantly looking at a new position. Takes a few shots in one direction immediately. Jumps over to another. But now Elliot getting knocked with a nade. They knocked each other with nades. Thrown in each direction. Hoach gets knocked by the circle. That's unfortunate. Elliot does get finished off. Cup goes down as well. So that's going to be Vencona's finished off. That smoke only granted him cover for so long. So 4 teams remaining with 3 on each. If my math is done correctly. I think it's 4 3-man teams remaining. Good headshot spray down coming in with the 4x, but Sock is saying you can land some headshots, but we will then take you down. Sock secures the finish off there as well. And more kills coming in from Phoenix now as well. They had some good knocks. They had some very essential knocks for them to be able to push forward. O'Connell now 360 in, trying to make his way on forward, but Hannibro and Yordale denies him the benefit of getting himself behind that next tree, and that's not really gonna grant him a whole lot. Goes down, but fortunately for T-Bone, he has made his way further on down around the side, and that could potentially be him doing damage, but nope, he gets spotted out as well. The entirety of Swarm spots him, and they're applying so much pressure. Broken takes him out, and once again, Swarm, I want to see their kill count. They've been active in the late game. As I say that, there are only 3 kills. So clearly not as many kills as I thought they had. I thought they had way more than that. Spotted out, though, proned out, and Tuck with a double. Broken takes a 3rd, and that is going to be 6 kills now for Swarm. Again, I talked about them, a team that had a they had that moment where I thought, ooh, they got things going here, they can do something. But then things kind of fell apart. Riddle won the first game. The very first game of week 1 of Contenders was actually Riddle that won it. So could they start things off here as well with a win? That would be pretty impressive. Sure, things didn't really go the way they wanted to after that win, but hopefully here for them to come off with a good start and then be able to maintain it throughout the 12 games, that would be a good solid performance coming out of them. We'll see though. We'll see. They're going to be forced out of the compound in just a short moment's time. I don't think they have any vehicles available, and even if they do, might not want to use them. All smokes thrown for Yordale, but as we talked about before, Swamp, they have SKS, they have a Mini, and they have a MK14. So much damage to be done from a distance, and you see already Tuck with the MKs just tapping away, landing so many shots, but Yordale trying to return some fire. Broken down to half HP. Simpson, though, will get knocked, and it's all about being able to utilize these smokes. Where did you throw them? You cannot just spam them and throw them out like a madman. You have to throw them in positions that will grant you the cover needed. Yordale, good skirmish against Broken, but look at the push coming up from Drone. Nice positioning by him and Hannibro, though, immediately there to return, and now it's 1 versus 2. Hannibro only smokes for cover, could push down to the tree, and for Drone, he might just want to push up here. You can see he's crawling back down because he wants to get rest, but honestly, at this point, with being a 2v1, Drone might just want to crawl up and try and see if he can get some info, because right now, he's not really an asset to his team. He's gonna go down eventually anyway, so crawl up, see if you can spot an opponent. He will go down at the end there as well. 10 kills now for Riddle, and that nade won't be able to do anything. Talk with the MK14 secures the victory, and Swarm takes the win with 9 kills. So despite the fact that they only had 3 when I said they had many, they do end up almost with double digits nonetheless. Impressive game.